Hi everybody, this is Center 3 of the Meet a Tree unit with our overall theme of cycles. So this is one of 2 outdoor centers, which is fitting since we're talking about trees and since it's hopefully weather shouldn't get in the way most of the time. But this one has a lot of options, and again, taking into consideration the size of your group, the age of your students, and just the general class dynamic, you can make some decisions about what you think will work best. But there are a few different kind of scavenger hunt type activities. There are cards. You can just hand each child a card. This is probably going to be good for younger students, but also that are still a little bit self-directed. So this is a tree with insects, a tree that is younger than you, a nice Christmas tree. So you can just pass these out, have students go find them. Once they do and point them out to you, you can then pass them to someone else. If you're doing this, you might want to have more than one volunteer so that you can kind of, if they move to different parts of the outdoor area, you can keep an eye on them. But again, this can be a fun one. Or you can go as a group and just look at each one and have them look together as a group, or in pairs, or whatever works. There's also a checklist that you can give them, and you can make copies and give them each one, or you can work as a group with a dry erase marker. And there are, it's actually the same at the top and the bottom, so you only need to use half a sheet. There's 6 different things for them to look for. This would probably be good with the younger students as well. And then this one has a few more things, and they could do this in pairs or individually. It has a list of a very old leaf, a tree with smooth bark, a dead tree with a mushroom on it. So a little bit more in-depth finding of tree characteristics and types of trees. So that could be fun, and that could probably last the whole 15 or 20 minutes. Another option is this meet a tree, have the students find a tree that they think is pretty, and then they can draw a leaf from the tree, a twig or seed from the tree, and then an outline of the whole tree itself. So for more artistically inclined, that is also an option. The other thing, if you have the older students and if you are mathematically minded, there's some fun ways to kind of estimate the height of a tree, a tall tree that you can't reach the top of. There's 3 options listed here, and you can try all 3 of them, or you can focus on one, or whatever sounds good to you. One is the artist's method, where you have a child stand next to a tree, and then you have to get pretty far away, and you use either your finger or a pencil to kind of see how tall the child is, and then estimate how many times that child's height would fit up the tree. Multiply the child's height times that number, you get an estimate of how tall the tree is. Then there's also the triangulation method, which only works on a sunny day because you need shadows. But what you would do is stand next to the tree and there will be a yardstick on the elf shelf. Take the yardstick and measure the shadow of the yardstick, and then measure, I'll try to get a tape measure in here as well because that would help. Because you're going to be measuring the shadow of the yardstick, and then you're going to be measuring the shadow of the tree next to the yardstick. So this would be good for working with fractions and proportions. You could do some calculations. There are calculators in here. So that's another option for older students. And then there's also a circumference and age activity. We have a long string in here somewhere. Where'd it go? Did I take it out? There is it. Here it is. You can measure the circumference of the tree using the string, measure the string to get the circumference, and then there's a calculation using pi that, so it gives you pretty specific instructions here on how to estimate the age of the tree based on circumference. So that's kind of an interesting one too. So lots of different options here. Again, take time into consideration because you only have 15 to 20 minutes. And when you're the outside center, there's also some coming and going time. So pick something that speaks to you and you think will work well with the kids, and have fun with it and get them some good outside tree spotting time. If you have any questions, let me know. mitchellelf@gmail.com. Thank you.